What I'm going to do is, first I'm going to take you through my history of journaling, how I used to journal. First, let's get the journals. Woo! All right. These are my university journals. I haven't kept all of them because they were sort of focused on what I was studying. It was at the university that I actually started to take notes properly. And that's how I started journaling. It's because I realized that during lectures I was zoning out, doing something else. To help me keep focus, I realized that I could take notes. So that's when it started with me having a journal to take notes. This is a great note-taking tip. If you have a pencil and you try to correct something, you have an eraser and you start reworking. With a pen, you don't do that. You just cross it over and you continue ahead with the writing. It uses a little bit more paper and it looks a little bit messy at times, but eventually you stop making mistakes. I kept taking notes when I was in meetings. And that helps you keep focus, but it also gives you notes to go back to in the meetings to see, oh, what was actually said, what decisions were made, who said what. And that way you can get a good journal of what did you do at work at a specific date. This is a fun one. This is the trip that we did to Vietnam that there's actually a video of on this channel that you can look at. So this is the journal that I brought with me when I was exploring the world's largest cave. Links below. This is the journal that I had when we were hiking in Nepal. Also gonna make a video on that one. It's actually finished. It's gonna be published sometime later. This, I think this is my first bullet journal. And I bought the Lectrum because that's where I named it. It has a pre-made index in the middle. And basically this is what you can do with a journal. It can help you get a structure and get a plan for your week, and then you can have different structures set up for it. The bullet journal system is actually really good. If you don't use any digital tools or for some reason you want to keep an analog setup, it's a really tactile and also creative way to keep track of what you need to do when. Highly recommend it. And if you're going to try out a new technique, I recommend following the original setup for it. And that will help you plan out and structure your work. So in this one, I started to create the system that I'm working with today. So I read this book called Becoming a Technical Leader by Jerry Weinberg. Links in the description below. I recommend reading that book, but that book has a lot of exercises of becoming a technical leader, and I'll probably make a book review of that as a separate episode. But it recommends you to have a journal to write for 5 minutes in it every day. It doesn't matter what you write, just keep a journal, write in it for 5 minutes. And that started me on the setup that I'm using today. That whereas I write 1 page every morning, and for me, the check-in thing to write about is how I slept. That way I get a sense of how I slept over the week. And then every now and then, at a specific interval, for me it's 14 days, I have something that I call a focus reflection, where I read through everything that I've written for the past 14 days. I check with my yearly plan or my goals if I'm aligned with what I want to achieve. Am I working in the correct direction? And then I update my to-do list app or write down what I need to focus on in order for me to achieve the goals that I'm working towards right now. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about journals again. This one is almost empty. It's a traveling journal, like make your own tourist map, tourist book thing for Barcelona. And it has just a few entries, but one of them is the entry that one of them is probably the most valuable journal entry that I have. It is basically the foundation of how to prioritize, or how I work with prioritizing product development tasks. It's this one has saved me so many hours, the thoughts that I wrote in this one, so this is a keeper. This is also supposed to be a primer on journaling, so I hope that you can take some of the value for it. Like, the big takeaway of it would be to write at least 5 minutes every day. I can highly recommend doing that. I can also highly recommend going back every 14 days or every week or once a month or something. Going back and read everything that you wrote. That way you increase your memory retention, and if you're writing personal stuff, you can see recurring thoughts that you might need to work on or shift focus away from. So it's a great way to keep track. If you like the content, like and subscribe. Please share the video. Also, there's something about a newsletter that you can subscribe to if you want. There are links in the description below. Please enjoy them. Thank you so much for your time. See ya.